Matt and I are out in the garden working today. It's kind of winding down. It's on its last legs, I guess you would say. Mostly we're going to harvest some things, but we're focusing now on, this is the time of the year we focus on tearing things out. So this, where Matt's working right there, is where all of our cabbages were. We've already harvested them, made kraut, got some in the refrigerator, made some other things, but we left all the mess. So Matt's going to work on cleaning that up. I've been working on the tomatoes that didn't do very well down here. I've been removing the ones that are left. I've picked a few ripe ones, maybe about 8 or 9, but the plants are pretty much dead, so I'm going to work on pulling them up. Matt and I are up here at the peas, digging up the volunteer potatoes, and look, here's my first little Holstein peas. Oh, I'm so excited. Ain't they beautiful? These are dried, of course. We've not eat any of them, fresh or dried, but aren't they beautiful? I was so excited to actually grow them this year. And I may just save these for seed for next year, or at least a pot or two, to make sure that I have them. So are there any potatoes? Oh yeah. So these were potatoes we grew not on purpose. This was, our compost had some potato peelings in them that hadn't rotted yet. So these potatoes were just grown from peelings. And that's a nice potato. Yeah. I didn't know we were going to harvest all the potatoes today, but Matt started. We've actually been eating on them all summer long. We've just been going out and getting potatoes anytime we need potatoes. That's a nice one too. Not bad from compost peelings, huh?
No.
Granny does that little trick all the time, but we've never done it on purpose, but we do it on accident sometimes, like this. It wasn't the best place for them to grow, right in the middle of this bed, but we just kept letting them grow all summer. And now I guess we're glad we did. Nice potato. It's probably some of the best ones, better than the ones we planted on purpose.
I got a hole in it.
Got a bad place. We might cut that out. I would cook that one for supper tonight.
What are we having for supper?
We're having hamburgers. I seen one down in there. There it is over there. See it? There you go, little one. Little ones eat good too, though. I think that was it. So these are the potatoes that we dug today. This is all of them. We've dug them all up now. Not a bad harvest considering we've been eating on them all summer long, and we didn't plant that many. We never have enough to make it all through the winter, but we really enjoy the potatoes we do grow. I see something very exciting. I told Matt, our first yellow squash. Matt said, yeah, about in time for frost. These that I planted up here in the raised beds just did so much better than the ones that we planted down below. And look what I see right beside them though, Matt. Oh, the horror. Some squash bugs, yeah. So we'll have to come back and doctor the squash bugs, but at least we've grown one yellow squash this year. There's a few more tomatoes to add to our harvest. This was a volunteer tomato that come up down there in one of the beds, and I'm not sure what kind of tomato it is. It looks like a Roma, but we've never really grown Romas. Probably something that was just in the compost. Ground cherries have about took over back here behind the greenhouse, but here's one little pumpkin. That's a small sugar pumpkin. That one's definitely ripe, getting ripe. almost ripe. I'll leave it though until the stem gets really dried out and brittle and pretty much breaks off. We'll leave it out here till then. Right back there is a small pumpkin, a little bit bigger than the other one, and that is a Seminole pumpkin. It looks like it's doing good too. This plant up here at the front is one of the ones I was most excited about. It's Mrs. Amerson's. So you can see there's one of the things that's growing. It has sprawled all over the yard, but that's the only one that it's produced, and I'm not sure that it's going to have time to actually make it before cold weather arrives. I see one of the dreaded squash bugs right there behind it crawling around too. Anyway, I was really excited about it, but so far it doesn't look like I'm going to get to taste it again this year. Last year I thought I was planting it and I planted something different. What I ended up with was a spaghetti squash, so I must have just got mixed up when I was planting them. But I really wanted to see if this was one that we would like. I guess there's always next year. The pink variety of calendula's still blooming. So pretty, isn't it? Next year I need to have it with the yellow though, side by side. I think that would be really pretty. Malabar spinach has encroached over into the tomatoes, which is usually what happens. Here's some lovely tomatoes. This is one of the blueberry varieties that we did really like, and we'll probably grow it again. They will, when they're fully ripe, they eventually turn almost all red with just a little bit of that blue left. They're really blue when they first start out though. Here's some that's first starting out. You can see how blue, really pretty, almost a purpley blue. Also growing right here are some maypops. Some people call them passion fruits. Most often I've heard them called maypops. Pap called them wild apricots. Once this one's not ripe yet, you can see it's kind of firm. If you stomped on it, it would pop, may pop. Kids love that. But when it gets ripe, it gets really soft, kind of turns yellow. And then on the inside, there's seeds kind of with a gelatin-like substance all around them that tastes sweet, like a tropical kind of sweetness. Different things you can do with it. Katie's made jelly with them before. You can make a drink from them, or you can just enjoy them straight off the vine. These were the fall plants that Matt and I planted. You can see some little bitty kale coming up right there in this one. In this one, you can see a whole lot of turnips. Those are all turnips. So that one's looking really good. This is another one that we put kale in, so you can see a few sprouting up here and there. This is also kale. Lots of it sprouted, looking good. More turnips. I also see some tomatoes back there, where some tomato seeds have fallen and they're sprouting up. We'll pull those up. But lots of little turnips. And in this one, wonder of wonders, I have beets. Look at those beets. That's way better germination than we had this spring. So maybe we'll grow some fall beets. We've never done that before, but at least they've sprouted. So we come up to check on the raised beds. We hadn't looked at them. So on this side, this is mustard green, so those look great. And then on this side is rutabagas. Maybe we'll actually grow our first rutabagas this year. I hope so. Look, before you do that, I have something. Don't mind how dirty my hands are just to eat from them. I know.
Ain't pokeberries, is it?
It's elderberries. Aren't they good?
Mm-hmm.
I think they're really good.
Eat them.
First elderberries we've ever grown. We wanted to grow them for mostly medicinal reasons, but they taste so good. Now I'm thinking elderberry jelly and elderberry pies, or just to eat like that.
They get bigger than that?
No, they're just small. Uh-oh, I got white all over
Yeah,
yours.
I got purple on yours.
Oh, it's all right.
You got chocolate on my peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
I do remember that. Me and Matt are always reminding each other of old commercials.
I forgot most of them. Something, once in a while, something will remind me of it.
Yeah.
You can actually look on YouTube. There's videos of just nothing but like commercials from the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
And they're really fun to go watch. And they are to me. That's how boring I am.
Yeah. Somebody sent me one time, and I seen the ones of the Kern's Bread Man. I'd forgot about those.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the beef, that lady? I don't even remember what that was for. Like a fast food, one of the fast
Wendy's.
food. Wendy's, okay.
I think it's Wendy's.
Me and Matt tease each other sometimes and say, "Calgon, take me away." Those commercials. And there's the Mikey. I'm already dripping. And that's what I was about to say, Messy Marvin. Looks like I'm being Messy Marvin today. There's our bird. Comes every time we sit out here now.
Yep. It likes us.
It's nice today.
It is in the shade.
In the shade. It was hot out there where we were working, but
Yeah.
still you can tell there's a change afoot.
Yep. It'll still be hot for another, I don't know, 5-6 weeks anyway.
Yeah.
6-7 weeks. But there's a little bit of coolness in the morning, and it's right before dark of the evening. You can tell it's much cooler than it has been the last few months.
You definitely tell a change is coming.
It was like 58 yesterday morning. That was really nice. I went out about daylight and just stood there and soaked it in.
I think it's supposed to be like 55 Saturday.
Tomorrow?
Yeah. Is tomorrow Saturday? Seems like it should be.
You're the one forgetting days now.
I'm forgetting days now. But yes, tomorrow. Yesterday, I got a little warm buddy with me. Yesterday we went fishing, and along the water, it was early in the morning. I was cold. I had chill bumps. I was thinking I wished I'd wore pants. I was trying to get Matt to build me a fire.
I had a jacket in my bag. I could give you.
Yeah, I tried to find the spots of sunshine and set in them. I wasn't fishing. I was just going along for the fun. But with that water moving, it was downright chilly. And you could begin to see certain trees, I mean, not color all over them, but just maybe 1 or 2 leaves, laying around them that was already turned red or yellow or something. So, you can definitely tell by our garden. It's, even from last week to this week, it's amazing how much it's died back.
Yeah, a whole bed of tomatoes is dead.
Yeah, they need to be pulled out. Some of the others are still got some on them, but that one main bed is pretty much gone.
They might ought to back up on how many plants goes in that next year, because that was just obscene.
I know, it was. We should. We really should. We say that every year, though, I think.
Yeah, we never do it.
Yeah.
When you get started planting, you just got to keep planting, I
You
guess.
just want to plant, yeah. Well, you're always afraid that the seeds you start, what if this one don't come up, so you better plant an extra one. And then it's so hard to just throw the plants away. We do share, of course we share with Granny and Corey, but even with friends, different people, we share, other family, but still.
I'm always afraid that the seeds will come up to be something that they ain't supposed to be.
Yeah, well, after this year, I'm sure you are. It's funny, a lot of people have said now that Matt's left his job to work full-time together with me, for us both to be together, that he should definitely take over the planting of the tomatoes next year. So we'll put him on tomato seedling. Yeah, or at least overseeing. He'll have to oversee me and Corey.
They'll put me on a white hard hat
Yeah, and come
and a clipboard, and I'll stand out there and watch you as you plant them and take notes. And
yeah, you'll be quality control.
yeah, the QC.
Yeah. You know, Matt can be quality control
Yeah.
over our seed planting and our plant planting. Our oakery's still going strong. I think we've learned a lot about the rattlesnake beans. They produce like crazy, and they did really good, and they were bug resistant mostly, but now they've kind of petered out. So I wonder if we could, like, if some point we should have pulled them out and planted more. We didn't really have time to do that this year.
No, but you can't. At the time, we'd have needed to have been replanting
They
when
were
they was
still-
putting out,
still
and you
putting
can't do
out.
that.
Yeah.
What we need is another bed or two to then succession plant
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, all in
And that
the
way
same.
we don't have so many all at one time.
Yeah, and you're not pulling them out like you're saying, yeah. Like Tim does his corn, you can see as the year goes on, you'll see some like about this high and some about that high, and then some that he's already eaten from. So, yeah, if we had a bigger space, we could do that.
We got a small space, but we grow a lot of food
We
out
do
of it.
grow a
just
lot
for
of food.
No bigger than it is.
Nice little breeze now coming around.
Very nice.
Talking about those old commercials, we don't watch TV a whole lot, but when we do, we watch old TV shows. And it seems like we go on kicks of this or that, but Matlock is one that we watch a lot.
Oh yeah.
And of course the westerns, Gunsmoke and things like that. But it's nice to watch those old ones like that and see the cars and the way people dress and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I like it.
Of course, Matt likes to watch a lot of hunting and fishing.
I do.
It's getting about that time for the hunting part.
Yes, it is. And some fishing too. The fishing will be better in the next couple of months than it has been since the spring. It's been too hot.
Yeah.
I want to get my kayak out a little bit as it cools off and use it some. It's just been too hot.
Hopefully Matt can take you on a trip with him on the kayak. We were trying to figure out how to do it though, because of course there's only one kayak. And people do that though with the GoPros and different setups. We'll just have to let Matt figure it out. You just put a GoPro on your head and everything you see.
Some people do that, and then one guy I watch has got like mounts on the front and the rear of his kayak and gets different views of it. But the problem with all that's going to be is me running that stuff, and I ain't never run a GoPro. I don't know nothing about them.
And I think those mounted ones work better because if it's on you,
Yeah, it's just
that
moving all the
just
time.
like you don't realize that you move that much, but you do. And then it's just real jerky, even though you don't even realize your body's smooth as it goes, but the camera is jerking back and forth.
I could just get another kayak and you can go film.
Yeah, I could go film.
It would be
I
fun.
don't know if I could manage a kayak.
Well, sure you could.
Maybe.
Once you get in it, and you just get in it and paddle. I mean, since it's a fishing kayak, you're up a little bit higher. You
Yeah.
know, you're not sitting down in a hole.
They have them that has pedals, didn't you say?
Yeah, they got pedal kayaks.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're a little more pricey than the one I got. But, and that's probably what I should have got, really. Just because I'm not going to be in the river or the creek, and I'm just going to be on the lake in it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm still learning about the thing. I've only had it out twice. But one thing I did learn, it will make you tired.
Good exercise, isn't it, rowing?
Well, yeah. Especially when you're a long way from the boat ramp and it's time to go.
Or it's coming a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
Wasn't it one time it was a storm or
That's
something?
what happened last time, and we were
Yeah.
probably a mile from the ramp, and it was a pretty bad storm, or about to be bad. And I just rode till I just give out, and I thought, I'll just have to take it, I guess.
Yeah.
Do like Austin, put a trolling motor on that thing.
That'd probably be good.
You still row and use the oars, but
if you're going a big
but
distance.
if you need to get somewhere
Yeah.
and to hunt out of it, if I decide to do that, then it would be nice too, because you don't want to get all hot and sweaty early in the morning before daylight trying to get to where you're going, you know, and then you can get there so much easier with a trolling motor. So that may be what I end up doing with the lady of the manor's permission, of course.
You don't have to ask permission, you know that. You never have.
I'm just trying to be peaceable.
Yeah. You're right peaceable like Granny.
Yeah.
It would be fun. I'm sure. I know you and Austin enjoyed.
Oh yeah, we had
Enjoyed
a
it.
ball in it. Just a little bit. He's been in his a lot more than I have mine. But the 2 times me and him went together, I had a ball. I enjoyed it. It'd just be a whole lot nicer if it's not as hot. You know, it was already hot by the time I got mine. You know,
Yeah, it was
end of March, 1st of
summer.
April, middle of March through first part of May would be real nice. And then September into November would be nice.
Mm-hmm. Matt's kind of feeling like, what is it, Murphy's Law, whatever, you know. You think this is the first year, and I guess since you were a boy, that maybe hunting season is wide open. Wide open, and he can just do what he wants to do and go as much as he wants and not have to ask off or not have to take his vacation in between when other people's taking theirs, because he worked with other people that was deer hunters too. And then he gets a notice in the mail that he's been selected for, it's not just regular jury duty, it's superior, what do you call it? Federal jury duty.
Grand jury type stuff.
Yeah, and he would have to travel to Asheville to do it and then be on call until they finish, or if they went to trial till the trial was over.
And it lasts 8 weeks.
Yeah, so 8 weeks. So
And it starts
September 5th.
Yeah, and deer season opens September 9th.
Yeah.
So
Poor Matt.
that's been a bummer. I've not got real excited about going hunting because I'm trying not to, because you know, if you got to be on call that whole time anyway, whether you get picked or not. You're all the time. You got to call in and see if you're needed and all that stuff. I guess I think that's how it works.
And then he'd have to travel, of course, to Asheville. I think it says they would pay for hotel or whatever, but he wouldn't need to do that. He could just stay with Papa Tony in Canton. But yeah, but maybe it'll be one of those where you offer to do it and then they say we settled or we don't need you or whatever.
It'd be nice.
Or they look at you have to fill out a questionnaire. They look at it and be like, no, we don't need you. So I don't know. Anyway, poor Matt.
And it'd be okay to do it, just not then. And
It's
the last
not
time,
deer season.
the last time I got picked for jury duty was, gosh, it's a long time ago, but it wasn't federal. It was just regular jury duty here local. And it was the same thing. It was opening week of deer season. I don't know. I guess that's just the way. I don't know if they go in alphabetical order by your name or if that's just when mine. Last 2 or 3 times that's happened. It's always been right at the cusp of deer season. Maybe I'll change my name.
Maybe. One time, that last time, you were lucky they didn't go to trial or whatever. They let you go after a day or two, didn't they?
Yeah.
So maybe that'll be like that this year. One time when Corey and Katie was probably, I don't know how old they were. What, like 2nd, 3rd grade, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got summons to jury. And I did the first part. I can't remember now if it was that you mailed something back or whatever. And then the next part that I was supposed to do, I just forgot about it. I just totally forgot. And I didn't do it. And then
Months went by.
one day I thought about it and thought, oh my goodness, what is going to happen to me, you know? And I have a really close friend who's a lawyer, and so I called her, and we actually babysit her son too till he was grown. But anyway, been friends since we were little girls. I called her and told her, and she's like, well, they probably put a warrant out for your license. Let me call and let me try to find out what's going on. And so took her a while, but then she called me back. She said, well, you're very lucky. They said that day that they had everyone they needed, and everybody that didn't do what they were, I don't remember, I guess you were supposed to show up is what it was. Everybody that didn't, they just decided to let it go. They didn't, you know, normally they'd put a warrant out for your license, is what she said. So, it's like, I just forgot. I just totally forgot it. Totally forgot. But thank goodness, nothing happened to me.
Yep.
Sometimes then the next time that I got called, this happens to us often, not about usually getting called, because you don't get called that many times, but where we live in Brasstown is a divided community, meaning part of it's in Clay County, North Carolina, and part of it's in Cherokee County, North Carolina. And we live in the Cherokee portion. So often your taxes sometimes will get mixed up, or Clay County will send you a tax, you know, bill for something like that. But the last time got a summons, that's what it was. It was from Clay County. So of course I just had to say I don't live in Clay County, even though I'm in Brasstown, and so I didn't have to do anything. But it gets confusing. Sometimes they just think all of Brasstown is Clay. So maybe you won't have to. Or maybe if you do, it won't last 8 weeks if you do have to go.
Well, I think that what it is there'll just be a multitude of cases. So you're going to be on call that length of time regardless.
Oh, for the whole 8 weeks,
yeah. Whether you get used or not, you still got.
So if you got called at the very end, you might go on past that.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Right on into the good part of the hunting season. Well, whatever. Can't fight City Hall, they say.
Yeah. I told Matt he could try to get out of it, but he said no. You just do it. You're supposed to do it. You just do it. Do it and get it over with.
Yeah.
Which is what you're supposed to do. Your duty.
Civic duty.
Yeah.
You
just wish it wasn't in deer season. You don't care to do it.
That sort of stuff ought to stop about September, and then we'll start back in January.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in charge.
Nope.
And if I was, that'd not be the only thing I'd change. But we won't go there.
Yeah. Can't believe, I mean, before you know it, deer season will come and go, whether you get to do it or not. Just time, it's just going faster and faster and faster, it seems like. It's gonna be Christmas before we know it.
Yep.
I'm hoping for a big snow. Matt was hoping for one too, because he's gonna watch me sled, he says. Now after yesterday, do you think I can sled?
Well, I didn't say you couldn't sled. I just said, you know.
I might be all stove up.
It's not the greatest idea, you know, at our age. It's not a
Well,
good idea for me to be doing it either.
Look what we did yesterday.
Yeah.
We were scurrying up and down the creek bank, which was how long?
I don't know, it's just real steep.
It's as steep as a mule's face.
Yeah, and we can usually wade across the river.
Yeah.
And then there's a good walking trail on the other side, and you can just drop off the trail right into the water and fish each good fishing hole. But apparently it had rained that we didn't know about way up in there somewhere, and the river was up a little bit. And it was a little, I mean, I could cross it, but I didn't want her and the girls
Mostly
crossing
me.
it.
The girls was ready to do it, but I was already freezing, and I said I would, but I was already shivering and then knowing I was going to get wet.
Yeah, I just didn't want you to have to do that, so we tried to fish it from the other side, and it was
It was very exciting.
It was real steep and real thick and real snaky.
Yeah. But we made it.
We made it. Caught a few fish.
Yeah, have fun. Now that would be beautiful in the snow up there.
We would.
Oh, it'd be beautiful. If it snows, we should go up there. But I'll be too busy sledding, sorry. I can't go.
I bet they'll have a gate closed to the snow.
No, probably.
That time of year, if it comes
Yeah.
a big snow, won't let you in there.
Probably. But I'll be sledding anyway, so I wouldn't have time.
Yeah, I know.
I'll be sledding all day.
I'll get the. Yeah, I don't think you'll be doing it all day. I'll
Yeah.
get the doctor on standby for you.
Well, we can at least walk up the creek if it snows,
Yeah.
which we usually do. It's beautiful. Even if it's not much of a snow, it just covers everything. It's so pretty. But I'm hoping
Yeah.
for a big one, a really big one. One that I can, like, sled for a week every day. Build a snowman. You just keep my hot chocolate fixed and dry clothes so I can come in and change.
Okay.
I usually I've got Matt's coveralls from the job he had. Did you have that job when we, yes, because that's where I called, about the truck. Yeah, Lowe's. Well, so I was trying
Let's
to remember.
bring that up again.
Yeah, when I tried to sell Matt's truck. But when he worked at Lowe's, he had a set of coveralls. Is that what they're called?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, it says Lowe's on the, but we've kept them all these years, and that's what I wear in the snow. It's what I've always wore since we've been together.
Yeah,
I wear
I
Matt's.
agree.
They're way too little for Matt,
I
yeah.
outgrew those things
A long time ago.
25 years at least ago.
I don't even ever remember you having them on, so they may have,
I never did wear coveralls much. I don't like them.
they wanted you because you had to be outside. That's why they give them to you.
Yeah, I had to work
Yeah.
outside a lot.
Yeah.
And mostly what I did was outside or in the warehouse in the back, and it's not heated.
Yeah.
So, but I just never could wear coveralls. They bound me up too much. I'd rather have bibbed overalls that was insulated and then wear a coat.
Yeah.
It's much more freedom of movement for me.
Anyway, that's my snow attire. I've been wearing for 30 years
Yeah.
now.
It's probably antique now.
Probably. Probably. They probably don't make them no more.
No, but I'm sure they don't.
They keep me warm though.
You need a sled if you're going to sled.
I've got sleds.
Them things is horrible. You need to get a good
I've got
one.
a sled. I got 2 sleds.
Yeah, and you can see through the bottom of them. Now they've been wore out. The girls wore them out when they was little.
Oh, I got them. I think they're still good. But you can buy me a sled if you want to.
What kind do you want?
Well, I don't know, one like
You
that.
want one that's got runners on it, or do you want a plastic one?
No, I like the plastic ones better because typically here, if you get snow, you can still see the grass through it. So
Did you ever sled on a car hood?
no, I never slid on.
We used to have I don't know where we got it, but the old metal, big round, great big round Coca-Cola signs, and they were dished, and you could get 4 or 5 people in that thing on top of a big hill, and we'd all get in it and take off, and you'd just go around and around and around as you went down the hill until you flipped over and everybody wrecked over top of
Yeah.
each other. I couldn't imagine that now, but that thing worked real good.
Didn't you used to go on the parkway and somebody pull you behind the truck too?
I have done that, yeah. Yeah, that's a
That
little
sounds
dangerous.
kind of scary.
It is. I mean, it was fun in a way. I think in a way I'd do it now, but
Yeah.
the bad thing is you would go around the curve, and whoever's driving would be kind of going as fast as they could, so it'd be fun for you, but it would sling you out into the other lane, and then there's the guardrail, and you just have to roll off it to keep from getting mangled in the guardrail.
Yeah, it sounds like lots of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I stick to my little heels down here. My sledding.
Well, I'll just not do any sledding. I'll watch you.
Yeah. You could be like, what's his name? Chevy Chase in the movie.
Yeah.
He sleds and he puts the stuff on it and it
Yeah.
catches on fire or whatever.
Later dudes. He ends up in Walmart parking lot with the bottom burned off that thing. It's cool.
We did used to try all kinds of stuff for sled. We never had nice sleds like that. Like, not even as nice as those that's Corey and Katie's, and those are not nice. They're just cheapo things. But we'd try inner tubes and dish pans and pieces of plastic and whatever we could find. Daddy did make us sleds one time, but they wasn't that great. You'd have to have a really big snow for them to go in because they had runners on.
Yeah, I know sledding just don't do it for me.
I always loved
If
it.
there's snow on the ground, I'd rather go back in here in the woods and see what kind of tracks I can find. Now that I like.
Yeah.
Build a fire. I enjoy that. Don't get to do that much because it don't snow much.
Sure hadn't in the last few years. So I'm hoping this will be the year we sound like the old people, so it'll be like it was when I was young. I guess we are the old people. But
Older than we used to be anyway.
I love living in Appalachia where there's 4 distinct seasons, so it's kind of sad, the garden playing out. It's kind of relief too, though, to be honest with you, just so that that's one less, this time of the year you're like, okay, I've put up and I've put up and I've took care of and I've took care of, now I need a little break, give you some rest and relaxation, I guess. But it is still kind of sad, but I'm looking forward to hoping for snow. We probably won't get a big snow, but I'm always hoping for one. And of course Matt's hoping for deer season, looking forward to that if he gets to go. Looking forward to the leaves and to the first fire he builds in the wood stove, first frosty morning, all those kind of things. And then by the end of the winter, we're looking forward to the first green. Matt'll be looking forward to ramps and fish and turkeys, yeah. So I love all the seasons equally. It's wonderful to live in a place for many reasons, but here in southern Appalachia, those beautiful seasons that really highlight the landscape. Where we were at yesterday was so stunningly beautiful. Of course it is right here too.
Yeah.
And then seeing the, like the green and then the leaves and then the bareness too, all of it I think is just really highlights the beautiful, beautiful landscape of Appalachia. I'm glad to be here.
Yep, me
Glad
too.
to be here. One of the first people I interviewed years ago when I first started Blind Pig and Acorn was a dear family friend, really like family, but L.C. Chastain, and I asked him a bunch of stuff, but then I said, well, what do you think about Appalachia, L.C.? And he thought that was funny, kind of laughed at me, how you do, and he said, well, I reckon. I said, no, I really want to know, and he said, well, I reckon if I didn't live here, I'd be getting here as fast as I could. And you just see him saying that.
Yeah, he was one more fine somebody.
He was, but
Fine feather.
I agree. All these years later with LC, if I didn't live here, I'd be getting here as fast as I could.
Yeah.
I'm just very grateful that I do live here and that I've been blessed to live here my whole life and enjoy this wonderful, beautiful place on a daily basis. You agree?
I agree.
I agree. Katie, when we were in the days when we were making music a lot more than we are now, but sometimes she would say when it was like the end and that was it and people just keep sitting there, she'd say, okay, you're all adjourned. You're adjourned, you can go. So I guess this is, you're all adjourned, you can go. Me and Matt better go in and get started on supper and get all that wonderful, all those potatoes and stuff. We're going to have to figure out what we're going to do with them. But we're always grateful when you stop by to help us celebrate Appalachia. The wind's back.
Feels good. I like it.
I don't know if over there something stung me or if I just scraped myself somehow digging the taters. But that's stinging still right there.
That's niceness.
Ain't nastiness.
Yep, that's what it is.
Something stung me, I think. Something bit me.
Wash it, it'll get better.
Look at my hands. Look at that. I need to wash my hands. So we're going to have hamburgers, corn, roasted potatoes. I've got a little bit of that salad left. Corey's got a cake, and I'm going to make some peach ice cream.
Yes. Come on, we'll go do some laps and burn some of this off first.
Since there's going to be so many hamburgers, can you do them on the Blackstone?
Yep.
How many of them? There'd be 7 of us. Unless Ace is like Alec and he can eat one too. I don't think so. I don't think he's eaten food yet. But
That little boy could probably eat a half a calf.
yeah, he could.
He just now learned how to walk, didn't he?
Yeah, he's walking. Yeah, Ace will be right behind him. But yeah, and you seen he'd hit Mark in the nose and busted his nose.
That's amazing.
I was like, well, you created a little He-Man. There you go.
Yeah.
He's so adorable, though. Of course, he didn't mean to. Babies do that. Corn Caddy used to bite me, and they wasn't doing it to be mean. It was just like they were just so ecstatic when they were that little. They don't even realize what they're doing. They're not doing it to be mean. They're laughing and cutting up, and all of a sudden clamp down on you.
Yep.
You know. Yeah, anyway, if you could do them out there.
Yes, dear.
I do the ice cream and the potatoes. And we could use some of our new potatoes. That one I said I needed to use. The rest of them, we need to spread them out somewhere. I think we should can them. Not today, but...
I don't know. It's just whatever you want to do. That or just eat on them.
Yeah. Need to put them somewhere where they won't go bad. I guess we could put them on the porch.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll go through those pretty quick, but
Yeah, as much as we eat them.
yeah.
We could, now that we've got them, I'd like to have another pan full of fried taters and wraps.
Mm-hmm.
We could do them out of those good fresh potatoes. That would, if we could figure out what to go with it.
Yeah. See, feel that wind?
Mm-hmm.
It's
really
cold.
cool.
I've got chill bumps.
I like it.
It's cool.
I'm be glad it's got little bitty balls of snow blowing in it sideways.
I think this is the year we're going to get a big snow. It's going to be a snowy winter.
Okay.
I don't really believe it, but I'm just trying to be positive.
Well, you've already jinxed yourself. You just said you don't believe it. You
I know.
gotta believe.
It'd be nice this year and you wouldn't even have to worry about getting out in it.
No, that'd be nice.
You wouldn't have to face the hill down there.
Yeah, wouldn't have to
Getting in and
go
out.
salt the steps at the courthouse.
Yeah. Slide off the mountain.
Yep. That's kind of scary coming off there in the
I
ice.
guess so. It's
Especially in
steep.
big trucks.
Yeah, it's steep.
I was afraid I'd run plumb out in the highway down there and not be able to get stopped.
Yeah. And traffic just going.
I'm gonna do some cutting right here.
Yeah, I know. It's
That
getting
and that stuff
it's
up
on
there on
top
top of the roof. And
on the chicken house, and that one's over that. Getting closed in. I used to have a sarvice tree back here, and I think it just got too shaded out or something. I hadn't seen it bloom in 2 or 3 years.
it used to be right there
I
somewhere,
know,
didn't it?
yeah, it was right there. I'm gonna have to go put a sweater on.
It ain't that cold.
I feel that wind. It's got a chill to it.
No, it ain't a chill. It just feels nice.
All right, let's go.
Okay. Oh gosh.